Camera rolling. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast. And a man that's been here before, one of the return guests, always return guests are always fun, but a couple of times. And offering always a black perspective, as you see black every day. Lazar, how you feeling today, my brother?
What up, though? All is well. All is well. How you doing, brother?
Man, everything is good. Everything is good. We having a pregame discussion about different things in and around the city.
I love our pregame.
How it functions.
Yeah.
How it functions.
And what's needed for it, right? So,
yeah, man. Yeah.
Those things, man. So.
And with it, taste the black spirits. Yeah. This is an experience where a lot of the distillers and makers, liquor brands, black-owned liquor brands are coming together. So it's an entrepreneurial experience.
Yeah.
It connects to nightlife. It connects to culture.
Yeah.
But it connects to business and entrepreneurship as well.
100%.
And through this, you've brought in, Ronald Isley. You've connected with so many different stories. Like, this is powerful. And you've taken this on the road to different cities. And across America, people are clamoring for this. I'm sure that, that I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years I'm going to see this in Cape Town, and in Brazil, you know what I'm saying? It's like funny, Sao Paulo, it's moving in this direction because the access to like a lot of things and institutions for the distribution, similar to what your wife offers in film, mm-hmm. for liquor is not the same. It's not a level playing field for people that are black in this industry. No. And you're providing gateways and highlighting in different creative ways for them to deliver this. Yeah. So first off, hats off for staying true to this. Yeah. And continuing to offer it to the point now where there's so many bars where I'll see you pop up and it's spots for black spirits now connected to it. And I know a lot of that work is definitely connected to the work that you've built from this Taste of Black Spirits experience.
Yeah, man. So it's been a hell of a ride, right? We started in 2021. Most folks when they see it, when they experience it, they're like, well, how did I miss this, right?
Yeah.
The goal was always to bring awareness to African American spirits, right? That was the first goal. And we set out and we showed tremendous movement immediately by introducing it, right? So it went from bringing awareness to building brands to even come into the market, right? Helping them get funding, assisting them in shelf space and things like that. But it's not easy because, again, when you put the word black in front of anything, you don't have a challenge, right? And sometimes that challenge is going to come from black people, right? So when I think about those small challenges that I'm able to overcome, because it's just really me going and telling you this story, right? If I tell you a story about Tom Bullock, the first African-American male who created a recipe book, and that recipe book is still available today. I'm teaching you something about you and your people and where we come from, right? If I talk about Victor George, right, who has Fort Mose bourbon, 1738. So Fort Mose is the first free city in Florida, 1738. This is stuff we don't know, right? We got to understand why is that and why are we telling these kind of stories and how does these stories connect to where we're going in the spirit industry or even any other industry, right, that we occupy. So in the spirits industry, we move in a way where it's unusual. Right? And what I mean by that, it's kind of like Detroit is different. We move unusual because the usual way, the usual planning, the usual setup, it's not made for us. It don't work for us. I've tried it. It doesn't work for us. So I'm always creating ways to move brands into the next phase of that brand's growth.
Yeah.
And that comes with, again, like I said, comes with a challenge, but I'm always up for the challenge. I'm always 10 steps ahead because I know I have to be, because I study the market. I study what the intent is of distributors. The intent is of retailers. So you have the distributor. If a brand is trying to get into the city or the state, typically the usual way, send me the product, send me an email, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
That's 6 to 9 months. Easy. Or not at all. Me, I built a relationship long enough or strong enough to say, hey, I need you to try this product. I'll bring it to you, and then you will taste it and let me know right then, as opposed to me waiting 6 to 9 months. I'm not waiting no more than 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I mean, it's one of those things, man. When I look at it, I look at all the work that it entails, like what it really is to be black in the spirits industry, in an industry where black people spend $3 billion or more a year. That's black people.
Yeah.
On something that don't belong to us, on something that we can't even get back. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I think about as I move through this world with the spirits.
So what's coming for this experience where it's connecting cinema and culture as well?
Yeah. So
down this iteration of Taste of Black Spirits, what's coming up? What date? How do people get there?
So this year we include so many components, right? So the opening night is a film. It's related to men's health, right? Mental health. So we have a couple. The film is called Twisted Hearts with Adrian, and we're opening up with that night. And again, we start off with that kind of thinking. But what happens the 25th through the 29th? You get that many days of edutainment, right? We're not only going to educate you, we're going to entertain you while we educate you, right? And you're going to enjoy some cocktails along the way. So it starts off with the Detroit, so it's a blend of, I should say, the Detroit Black Film Festival, which is our fifth year, and the Taste of Black Spirits 11th edition, right? So you go back, Kyrie. You remember the first time I was sitting in this seat after the first edition, May 2021. So now we've not only have the Spirits exhibition where it's on that Saturday. You have all these brands coming. We have like 110 brands, black-owned brands.
Wow.
Non-alcoholic also.
NA.
Yeah, so we have some non-alcoholic beverages in the place for those who don't drink, right? So we have that component. We also invited Derek Whitehead, who is a financial guru, right? He's offering his talents and his expertise about how to get money, save money, and use money, right? So it's called Money Talk. Yeah. And he's coming along with Invest Tank, which are some investors that are not only to look to invest into spirit brands, but other industries as well.
Wow.
Right. And then we have Spirited Sisters in Supply Chain. So this is a whole week of things that are going on, and all those things tie right into the Detroit Black Film Festival, which is being held at the Carr Center Gallery, the Marlene Bowl Theater. We're at the Michigan State University. I think they have a theater in there for us that we're using. Okay. Then we're at the Doubletree Hotel for that whole Taste of Black Spirits experience. So it's going to be a hell of a weekend.
Cool. All right, so how do I get tickets? When's it happening?
Yeah, so it's happening September 25th through the 29th. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, Event Noir, Film Freeway, Detroit Black Film Festival, and you can go to all of our media handles, Detroit Black Film Festival, or Lazar Favorites, Marshall Favorites, and all those links will be ready for you to click on. All right, so
in this, you've made some different connections in this time through COVID, actually starting this whole thing. You've made some connections.
Yeah.
What has it been like moving in this space? Because in offering different things and promotion, knowing your history, check the Detroit is Different archives.
Facts.
And also entertainment and other things in production. And entrepreneurship, now you're in a space of liquor distribution as well. And like you say, this is a different type of industry that your skill sets fit well into. Right. What has it been like transitioning into that space where, you went from the person making the phone calls like, hey, what's up? Earl Stevens, we want to hear. So now you're taking the phone calls of people like, hey, you're the guy. What's it been like in that transition? That's interesting, right? I don't think about it until I think about it, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't sit around and think like, until one day I was sipping on
Liquid Gold by Ronald Isley, like, Ronald Isley is my guy. Like, I can call him. I actually brought him and launched him. We actually launched him in New York, Brooklyn, 2023. Then we launched him again in Detroit same year, 2023. And we hang out. Like, we spend time. So I never saw that coming, right? Think about E40. I never see these things coming. I just position based on what we're doing in the spirits industry, what we're doing. Me and shout out to Sadat and Dwayne and everybody else that plays a part in what we do and how we move, including my wife. But I didn't look at it like that, right? Until I sit down. I didn't think about the conversation I had with Jay Prince when we brought him to town. We were launching his champagne and wine at one of our Rivertown Meyer stores. I didn't realize that I'm having a genuine conversation with Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot Records, right? Until I sit back and I'm like, well, then I reflect on the conversation that we were having. He asked me, he's like, what made you start doing this? Like, how did you do this? He said, I'm in the business and didn't realize that it's this many of us, right? So segueing into, he invited us out to do a Taste of Black Spirits Houston in November, right? November 7th through the 11th. So we'll be in Houston then. But meeting people like Alan Henderson, Amani with Duke and Dane, Duke and Dane was like my second product that we introduced here to Michigan. Now we went from 1 to 2. Now we had 21 products that we represent that's in our portfolio in the state of Michigan. Now we represent throughout the United States, but in the state of Michigan it's 21, right? Then we also help develop 7 products that are from Michigan. We basically A&R.
Yeah.
For those in the music business, we basically put that together. Their planning, their strategies. We help them move into the market, which segues, which allowed us, I should say, to do a development deal with Meyer, right? So we took 10 African American spirits and placed all 10 in 7 different Meyer stores at the same time. Right? That ain't never been done. People don't do that. Right? It never happens. It's usually you have to wait for this, wait for that. But no, we have been working on that deal, that initiative, In Good Spirits initiative for two years, right? And we finally got it done. But again, when you think about, well, what does that mean? That means you have 10 products to choose from that you never had to choose from in a retail space that is incredibly popular, big, right, large, and we're not only in the store, but we want an end cap. So an end cap is what they like to call the most active area in a store, right? So we were able to lock that in, right? Now, when I say, and this is us doing the work. This is us saying we're not going to allow you just to look at us and not see us. You have to see us, and like anything else, as you know. If we come in to build something, we need to come as a group, I call it collective behavior, right? So instead of me just bringing 1 product, 2 product, or 3, no, I'm gonna bring everything, and I want everything in. This is not a choice. I don't want you to choose one or the other. I want you to take them all, right? And I'm gonna offer you these type of offerings, and you take them all. So that's one of those things that we're able to do based on how we move in the market, based on the relationships that we build with distributors and retailers and chain stores. We're able to make these things happen.
So with that, and I'm doing this also for your wife that's in studio.
Yeah.
I'll pitch a hardball question to you. It's gonna be hard.
Go on with it.
You'll figure it out. I'm gonna dance around this one. But so the black buying power is serious, especially when it comes to many things, but liquor is one of them. Clearly, as we see so many entrants of a lot of hip hop acts, but even like sports figures, like Isaiah Thomas has an offering. One of the largest right now embroiled with so many different legal battles, as we know, is Sean Combs. And before the legal battles that we see presently, and Lord knows the horrific video that was released on Cassie, there was another legal battle that took place about a couple years ago that many people did not know, because I was a little unaware. And that was the legal battle between Sean Combs and the holdings behind what Ciroc was. And I believe a lot of people, such as myself, was thinking, "Oh, that's Puffy's liquor. That's Puffy's liquor. That's Diddy's liquor." You know, not knowing that a lot of it was using the to sports name, image, and likeness of Combs.
Yeah.
And this was a racial discrimination suit that he actually won against one of the liquor-based companies.
Yeah.
And this kind of went under the radar, like a lot of stuff kind of sometimes goes under the radar when it's things like this against trillion-dollar industries and multi-billion-dollar companies. This happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know. But even for what his accounts say, like almost like insurmountable amounts of money that were taken advantage of and exploited, when that brand of Ciroc was just so synonymous with him, the lifestyle that he's built, that name, image, and likeness for years of what we think of party behavior and all of this. So I know that's a long runway. As I said, I'm gonna pitch a hard one at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the difference in these deals? Because some of these deals may be more like back to like music, like white labeling, meaning like, okay, you get the black celebrity figure for their name, image, and likeness to look to front versus the person that's like really doing it. How do you know the difference in what your offering is first? And what's the difference? Because it seems like if that happened on that large scale, it has to be happening again and replicated.
I'll start with this. Thank you for the question. With Diddy specifically, because you mentioned his name, so I'm gonna use him specifically. We assumed that
Most definitely.
because he carried it, right?
Yeah.
He brought it back. First of all, Ciroc is 100+ years old prior to that day, right? We didn't know anything about it because we didn't have to, right? But when he attached his greatness, okay, let's be clear, in the music business, come on. He held it down for 15 years. Like, that's just what it was.
In entertainment.
In entertainment.
Anything
just anything, entertainment and the music, take that, he held it down. He saw an opportunity and they saw an opportunity. They put themselves together, and he was basically the marketing tool. He's the whole plan. There was no plan B, C, or D. He's the whole plan, right? He literally took them from 3 cases to 1 million cases in a few months, right? Based on the power of his image, the power of his talent, the things that he was doing in the music, and it just made sense for them to have the relationship. Now, the relationship is only 51% marketing dollars. There's no ownership, never no ownership. You got to understand,
Wait, I want you to repeat that. It was a relationship that was 51%
marketing dollars, right?
Nothing in ownership.
No ownership, because you have to understand, when you think of Bacardi, Hennessy, what's the other, those not Tito's, is those older Seagrams. So when you think of those, right, a lot of those brands are family owned or have been family owned, and if you're not in the family, you don't have no play in it, right? You don't get offered any ownership. Even with one of the greatest rappers that we love and know, Nas, there's no ownership, but he gets a nice percentage, right? Same thing with Usher. You get a nice percentage from those brands, and that's all. Rick Ross, same way. He gets a nice percentage of those brands. Rick Ross live and die.
Marketing deal. And I want people to see the business side of this, because it's layers in it.
It's layers, right?
It threw me for such a loop when I found out about the suit. And more, it was so shocking because it was such, and I guess in the marketing budget of that 51% marketing, to present yourself as the owner.
I mean, things came out of what Diddy did. You got the DJs, Ciroc Boys. It's a lot happening because of that individual and his marketing strategies. The way he felt that brand could filter through the community of hip hop and black people.
And let me break this down. You said from 3,000. So that is 3, 1 comma, and 3 zeros. To how many?
To a meal ticket, $1 million.
$1 million within
months.
Within months.
Just on his word, just being him.
And that was a brand he was associated with for 15 years?
At least 15 years. We were sold on that story. Even if you had Googled it at the time, the first thing that come up when you type in the word Ciroc, because it's going to mislead you. First thing that's going to come up is Puffy. Right? Because that's just how that's going to work. It misleads you when you say, who owns Ciroc? It's going to come up his name, Puffy, ... If you're not reading everything attached to it, and you just see Puffy, you're going to assume. Because that's just that's because he's the most powerful asset to the brand. He has always been the most powerful asset to the brand. So the first thing that's going to come up is his name. Nothing else is going to come up first, right? But if you Google Ace of Spades, you're going to get, and 3 years ago, you would have gotten Sean Carter, 51% owner, Douce. Now, he's still an owner, 25%. Owner, not marketing person, owner. Jay-Z ain't got to come outside to push Douce. We know that already. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference between the owner. He has ownership.
Wow.
E40, ownership. 50 Cent, ownership. Kevin Hart, ownership. They're not spending their time moving around. I was gonna say dancing around, moving around for brands that they not getting the bulk of the money from. Right. So that's the important when you go into a deal, any deal, shoes, etc., you go into any deal, you have to think about, well, how do I own that? Same thing with Jordan. Jordan don't own Nike. Jordan don't own Nike. Jordan still get handsome checks from Nike. He's not an owner.
For the name, image, and likeness.
That's right.
Because
that name, and watch this though. Realizing or not even realizing that your name is bigger than the whole thing. Jordan's name is bigger than the whole thing.
Yeah.
I saw a video, and we actually use this for one of our promos for Black Spirit, for Detroit Black Film Festival. And in the movie, the mother says, "A shoe is just a shoe until my son steps in it." Profound for me, which is how I move and think. Like, Hennessy is just cognac until we put our hand on it. Right? All those other things that we make famous, Tito's, we make all that stuff famous. Remove your hand.
And I love that you said that too, because this is where the ripple effect of what my favorite art form has done in so many things. It's like the black spin on something actually creates the taste making for society to buy into it.
The whole experience.
So, the recent Marlon Wayne's interview with Club Shay Shay, where he's talking about, okay, it was Keenan's idea to say, okay, during the Super Bowl halftime show, we're going to do it in living color. They said like such a large percentage of the audience from watching the Super Bowl that at the point, and it's like, I can't remember, but now it's like, damn, I do remember. Because back in the day, I actually remember that in living color halftime show. Shout out to my cousin Lumumba. At the time, he was dating his wife Maiwa, and he was in the lofts, and we were watching it. And that in living color halftime show, before then, the halftime shows, they said like marching bands and things like that. Immediately hired Michael Jackson. So the whole concept of the Super Bowl halftime show, it started from what In Living Color did, because it's like, okay, and they need Michael Jackson because they need a black actor.
It needed to be big.
What this was, to think that at the time that a black sketch comedy show is pulling the Super Bowl audience to watch it is
power,
wild
power.
But this is that branding and the taste that the black culture put into something, and now it reverberates in all culture as the status of what cool is.
You think about this line. It's a line on one of the cheesy songs with what's that boy name? Down, the feds is watching. What's that boy name? Anyway, he said 2 Chainz. In the verse, he says, he gets to Baron. Then he say, when they gonna make that Bentley truck? Remember that verse?
Yes.
3 years later,
Bentley truck,
the first 2,500 that they out of the first 2,500, 1,900 was sold to black people.
Wow.
Do you understand that? You understand the power, right? The power we use and then, unfortunately, not use correctly, right? He just said a line. He didn't get a check for it.
Yeah.
Pascal Vice, he didn't get a check for that.
No.
What we doing? What we doing with our power? We let's talk film real quickly. There's a group. It's a group on Facebook. 749,000 members.
Wow.
It's called Tubi something. Tubi ain't paying a dime for that. Tubi got 740 something thousand marketing people for free every single day for free.
Yeah.
Do you understand the difference? That's so. First of all, we got the power to bring that many people together for one thing.
Yeah.
We got that power. What we doing with that? Did we take that power and say, hey, this is what we doing, but this is what we want for it. We want this large percentage for what we doing and how we're making people go to Tubi unconsciously now, because now it's unconscious.
Definitely.
People go to that group and they looking for what do I need to watch on Tubi.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Tubi makes $10 billion in 90 days, easy.
Yeah. And
where's it? And let's be clear. This group contributes to that success. I'm not saying the group is bad or they're not thinking. I'm just saying we need to think consciously about what we create, what we put our energy into, and what we decide to make famous. Because we're making the choice of making whatever it is we want famous, we making it famous.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
So with it, as always, man. Great. I can't wait to get you back, and we're gonna get a long form one in sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe early 25.
Yeah.
But let the people know how they get tickets, how do they get connected.
Yeah. So everybody, just get out there, get a ticket, go to Detroit Black Film Festival. We have our tickets for sale on that site. We have Eventbrite, Event Noir, which is a black-owned ticketing platform, and we're on everything, all social media. Detroit Black Film Festival, Taste of Black Spirits, all social media. So get your tickets. Tickets are on sale right now for the 25th through the 29th of September.
And I'm gonna be in effect. I'm gonna pull up. I may be doing a little content, but I know definitely I'm pulling up one of the days of the film festival. Brother in Arms, Yusef Shakur, is going to be showing Redemption Road, a project that I was helping Yusef work on and some of the completion of it. But it was pretty much there. But that's my brother in arms. So many people know. So I'll definitely be there then. But I also just want to kick back, taste the Black Spirits. I haven't been in a just like attendant capacity, and so many other people I know are going, and they're like, "Oh, did you know?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my guy, they're my people." So we're gonna definitely connect.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it. As always, man. We appreciate you, man.
All love, all love.
Peace.
That is a Detroit is different.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today.